Room 13 presents. The old Darlington Hotel stood alone at the edge of town, a relic of a forgotten era. Its once grand facade now crumbled, overtaken by vines and whispering ivy, its windows blank eyes peering out over the fog-laden streets. For years, the townsfolk spoke of its legendary Room 13, a room that no guest who entered ever left the same, or at all. Nathan Lee, a journalist known for his fascination with mysteries, was drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Alone in his chaotic office, papers strewn everywhere, he discovered a yellowing newspaper clipping detailing an enigmatic disappearance decades ago. Jonathan Marsh, a guest who vanished without trace after staying in Room 13. Nathan, seeing a potential breakout story, decided it was time to dig deeper. Armed with curiosity and a tattered duffel bag, he arrived at the hotel, its presence imposing even in the feeble afternoon light. His car's headlights flickered before extinguishing, leaving him in darkness as he walked towards the large, creaking doors. The concierge, an elderly man with deep-set eyes and a gaunt face, greeted him with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Good evening, and welcome," the concierge said in a voice infused with both warmth and an undercurrent of age-old secrets. "I see you have a reservation for Room 13. Not many request that one. If I may ask, what brings you to our humble hotel?" "I'm here for a story," Nathan replied, trying to sound nonchalant. The concierge simply nodded, as if his response confirmed suspicions long held. Nathan felt an involuntary shiver run down his spine. As the concierge handed over the key, Nathan glanced at it. It was an old-fashioned brass key, heavy in his hand, with the number 13 engraved in faded Gothic script. A sense of foreboding nestled itself in his chest, a feeling he brusquely shrugged off. The journey up the dimly lit staircase felt eternal. Nathan's footsteps echoed, each creak of the wooden boards adding another layer of auditory claustrophobia. The path was lined with aged portraits, eyes following him with expressions that held too much understanding. He reached the door to Room 13, its surface marred by time and perhaps something else darker. The lock clicked heavily as he turned the key, pushing the door open to reveal a room swathed in deep shadows. The air was cold, carrying with it the faint scent of mildew and something sweetly cloying. The room was unchanged from decades past. Heavy, burgundy drapes hung motionless, and within stood an ornate four-poster bed draped in gold and crimson fabric. A thick layer of dust coated every surface, yet the atmosphere felt oppressively alive. Nathan placed his bag down, retrieving his notebook. He sat, the antique chair beneath him, groaning as if waking from a long dormancy. Flicking on a dusty lamp, he began to take notes, documenting his thoughts amidst the strange silence. Yet the room felt heavy, with an unspoken presence. Suddenly, an evocative sense of being watched descended upon him. He scanned the room, seeing nothing out of place, yet the impression remained, like invisible eyes tracing every movement. The sensation slithered beneath his skin like creeping ivy, leaving a chill in its wake. Determined to fight his budding unease, Nathan decided to explore the room. His fingers trailed along the bookshelf, skimming over ancient tomes, their cracked spines whispering secrets. One book refused to shift, fixed in place, and upon closer inspection revealed an inscription, "To J.M. with affection, E." As night deepened, shadows lengthened and shifted with a life of their own, distorting the edges of reality. Nathan tried to dismiss the irrational thoughts creeping through him, tracing them to exhaustion. He locked the door, drawing the curtains tightly shut before slipping into bed, his eye drawn unwillingly to the mirrored wardrobe a few feet away. A discordant tapping sound pulled him from the edge of slumber. It was strange, erratic, like fingertips drumming lightly against glass. Groggily, Nathan sat up, heart pounding. The ambient light seemed to pulse, flickering inconspicuously from the direction of the wardrobe. Suppressing a quiver of fear, he approached, the boards underfoot groaning their derision. As his fingers reached for the mirror, it cooled to his touch, an unexpected breeze licking at his hand. The breath of something unseen ghosted over his arm, sending an icy chill to the bone. With one swift motion, he opened the wardrobe. An empty echo resounded back. Yet the mirror reflected not him, but an elongated shadow, standing still in the center of the room before dissolving into the darkness. Nathan stumbled back, disbelief clawing at his rational mind. "I need rest," Nathan muttered, despite his heart's fervent disagreement. Yet he remained alert, eyes darting towards the mirror even as fatigue overtook him. As sleep claimed his senses, the mirror glimmered, capturing fragments of dreams. Morning light greeted Nathan with reluctant. He felt sapped, the previous night's events brushing the edge of dream and reality. Staring into the mirror, he saw only his reflection, haggard yet whole. Questions wove through his thoughts like tangled cobwebs, insistent yet inaccessible. At breakfast, the hotel dining room felt alive with conversations at a frequency just below hearing. Voices from past guests, their laughter and whispers intermingling with the clink of imaginary cutlery. Nathan shook his head, envisioning the article he could write, both fascinated and unnerved by the phenomenon. Upon returning to his room, he noticed it slightly ajar. He had locked it, hadn't he? His pulse quickened as he opened the door slowly, half expecting to find someone or something in his temporary sanctuary. Yet, nothing seemed disturbed at first glance. However, an unsettling detail caught his eye, a phrase smeared on the mirror in faded red, "Seek the bringer of dawn." It sparked an involuntary recognition, the message holding an enigmatic call to action. His mind instantly sought connections, understanding that the facade of the ordinary was threadbare at best in room 13. Engrossed in the mystery, Nathan delved back into his research, compiling every encounter with the room he could find. In most accounts, a presence was subtly implied, suggestive remnants of guests who had left without leaving and whose shoes filled no footprints upon departure. As dusk once more spread its tendrils, a pervasive chill nestled in the room. Nathan felt it stronger, its source elusive, yet permeating the atmosphere with intent. Determined to unveil the truth, Nathan clasped a flashlight and descended into the building roots, to the basement archives. Old plans of the hotel stored in cobwebbed cabinets. The basement mirrored the building's history, dusty, cold, and echoing with life long extinguished. By flashlight, he ensconced himself amidst towering stacks of boxes. Finally, after hours of wading through paper ghosts, he unearthed a folder marked with the hotel's insignia and filed under inexplicable occurrences. Inside, weathered documents spoke of unusual incidents, all tied to room 13. His eye froze on a handwritten letter from Eleanor Marsh, Jonathan's bride, pleading for closure, beseeching an intangible entity for her husband's return. The fear etched into each stroke felt palpable, reaching across the chasm of time into Nathan's core. As he read, the basement grew colder still, the flashlight flickering as unseen drafts swept around him. Nathan strained to catch sounds outside his reach, noises that spanned across epochs, suturing a past forever entwined with the present. Eventually, a pattern emerged, a theme of mornings, of light breaking, yet cloaked in darkness. The words "bringer of dawn" resonated through each anecdote and account, all tethered to an entity described as shadow and light, a guardian and deceiver. Emerging from the basement, Nathan returned to the room, resolve steeling his nerves. The message on the mirror beckoned, emboldening him to demand answers. The room responded with silence, as if weighing his presence with measured patience. That night, as he settled into anxious rest, dreams invaded with vivid clarity. People he'd never met populated his mind. Jonathan's face, flickering between familiar and forgotten, calling for elucidation. Eleanor's voice echoed, layered with unshed tears, her pleas to heed the whisper before morn's embrace, repeated in a haunting reverie. He woke, gasping, as an intangible presence enveloped him, neither hostile nor kind, demanding acknowledgement. In a flash of insight, Nathan grasped what must be done. The dawn required a witness. Against the night's oppressive silence, he sat, notebook open before him, as words commenced to flow. His experiences, undocumented histories, tales woven together by threads of dread, prophecy, and yearning. When the first tendrils of pale gold slipped past the horizon, a weight shifted within the room. An immense stillness pervaded. Nathan's every breath synchronized with the room's enduring presence, a title unspoken but understood. He felt the gaze from the mirror, the boundary between reality and reflection dissolving with the first light's caress. Dawn arrived, liberating unspoken truths, revealing shadows submerged beneath conscious perception. A figure emerged slowly within the glass, recognizable yet elusive, tethered by shared destiny, an embodiment of all who had sought and feared. It extended no indication of malice nor benevolence, simply watching as Nathan penned the last words of his journey. As light overtook shadow, Nathan understood that the Darlington Hotel existed in a delicate balance between moments, each guest a custodian of secrets, finding voice through their passage. By asking, by seeking, they allowed the dawn to illuminate corners otherwise darkened, reflections of self meeting inevitable conclusion. The light faded to the familiar warmth of day, whispers softening to whispers once more. Nathan stood, feeling the heaviness of answers unknown but unfeared, their potentiality momentarily discernible for those who dare to enter room 13. Just as he stepped towards the door, the mirror dimmed, his reflection entwined with those who preceded him, ethereal echoes sealing past, present, and eventual future into continuity. The door clicked shut behind Nathan as he exited, reaffirming life's engagement in the mystery and magic long encapsulated within those shadow-clad walls. The concierge smiled knowingly when Nathan handed back the key, a tacit understanding shared in his eyes. Nathan's expression mirrored intrigue softened by gratitude. "Did you find what you sought?" the concierge asked, voice laden with the resonance of unseen vistas. "I found something," Nathan replied, understanding coursing through, fears transposed into stories yet unwritten. Leaving the hotel, Nathan's heart felt lighter, carrying with it a tale spanning many lifetimes, stories destined to unfold under the dawn's eternal, evolving light. As he drove away, the hotel loomed in his rearview, both ending and beginning interlaced, consciousness echoing with mysteries housed within room 13.